In a bygone era, within a diminutive hamlet nestled amidst undulating terrain, resided a youthful individual known as Protagonist. Protagonist garnered renown throughout the hamlet owing to his incessantly contemplative demeanor. He perpetually engaged in introspection, pondering over past events and anticipating the future. His cogitative faculties were inundated with myriad thoughts, precluding any semblance of tranquility. One fateful day, Protagonist chanced upon hearsay regarding a venerable Zen sage dwelling atop a remote mountain peak. Legend had it that this sage harbored the enigmatic key to unlocking inner serenity and peace. Intrigued by this prospect, Protagonist resolved to embark on a pilgrimage to seek enlightenment from the revered Zen luminary. Following days of grueling traversal, Protagonist eventually ascended to the summit of the mountain. There, he encountered the Zen sage in a state of profound meditation, his countenance suffused with tranquility. Approaching the sage deferentially, Protagonist uttered, "Master, I beseech your guidance. My mind is besieged by restlessness, and I yearn for inner peace. Can you impart the wisdom necessary to alleviate my mental turmoil?" Opening his eyes, the Zen sage regarded Protagonist with a serene smile. "You speak of emptying the mind," the sage began. "Very well, I shall impart this lesson unto you." Leading Protagonist to a modest courtyard embellished with verdant foliage, the sage directed his gaze towards a sizable stone basin, brimming with water. Observing intently, Protagonist witnessed as the sage retrieved a ladle, extracting water from the basin and transferring it into a smaller vessel. "Now, Protagonist," the sage intoned, "your task is to deplete the basin entirely. You must convey all the water from the basin into the diminutive vessel without spilling a solitary drop." Contemplating the formidable challenge before him, Protagonist felt perplexed. How could he possibly transfer the entire volume of water into such a diminutive receptacle? Nevertheless, he accepted the challenge and commenced the arduous endeavor. For hours on end, Protagonist labored diligently, yet despite his concerted efforts, the basin remained replete with water. Frustration began to gnaw at his resolve, exacerbating the tumult within his mind. Sensing Protagonist's inner turmoil, the sage approached him with an air of compassion, resting a gentle hand upon his shoulder. "My dear disciple," the sage murmured softly, "you exert yourself tirelessly in your quest to empty the basin, yet you overlook the paramount prerequisite. To deplete the basin, you must first purge your mind of its burdens." Puzzled, Protagonist implored, "How might I achieve this feat?" In response, the sage offered a warm smile. "Release your apprehensions, your anxieties, and your attachments," he advised. "Focus solely on the task at hand, immersing yourself completely in the present moment. In doing so, harmony shall ensue." Taking heed of the sage's counsel, Protagonist drew a deep breath, relinquishing his frustrations. Abandoning his futile attempts to empty the basin through sheer force of will, Protagonist instead directed his attention to each individual scoop of water, savoring the sensory experience. Gradually, a sense of flow enveloped him, rendering his actions effortless and fluid. As Protagonist attained a state of mental clarity, a remarkable transformation transpired. In tandem with his newfound tranquility, the water within the basin began to respond, flowing effortlessly into the smaller vessel. Witnessing this phenomenon unfold before him, Protagonist was overcome with astonishment and gratitude. "You perceive now, Protagonist," the sage affirmed, "that by emptying the mind, one attunes oneself to the natural order of the universe. In embracing the present moment, harmony prevails." With this revelation, Protagonist came to realize that true peace and enlightenment were not external pursuits, but innate qualities residing within him all along. Henceforth, he carried the sage's wisdom within his heart, a constant reminder of the profound truth he had unearthed.